Welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders, a weekly talk show with local and national thought leaders discussing issues impacting the Black community. Now introducing our host, Miss Anne Marie Sorrell.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Lunch with Legacy Leaders. I'm your host, Anne Marie Sorrell, President and CEO of the award-winning Mosaic Group, an advertising, marketing, and public relations firm. I'd like to thank our sponsors before we get started with our broadcast today. Thank you to the Mesman Dover Accent Attorneys, AARP, Florida Lottery, FAMU Mary, and All of Us Research Program at the University of Miami. Today, I am joined by Ms. Kyle Harris, who is the president of DART, which is Dillard Arts. And we're going to be discussing the Dillard Center of the Arts Foundation, who is hosting their annual Christopher Dorsey Jazz Scholarship Fundraising event at ArtServe. Welcome, Ms. Harris.
Thank you very much for having me, Anne Marie.
You're welcome. So before we get started, we always like to let our guests really introduce themselves to our audience and just share a little bit about your background and your journey to becoming the president at DART.
Sure. Well, I started as a parent. My daughter went to Dillard in 2013, and I always believe that you should volunteer in your child's school if possible. So I jumped on and started volunteering right away. And after a couple years, Mr. Charles, who's the director of the Dillard Center for the Arts program, said he wanted to start a foundation and asked me if I would want to be the president because I had a lot of experience in doing community service work, plus with a child there and doing a lot of volunteering. I said, sure, why not? So we started the foundation in 2017. At the time, my daughter was a junior. So he said, let me know what you want to do when she graduates. And my whole thing is, I wasn't there just for my daughter. I was there for all those talented students that are there. So even though she graduated and went on, I wanted to stay around. So I told him I would do that. And so we grabbed a couple other parents and we started a foundation. And pretty much that's how it happened. That's how I became the president. And I always feel like as the president, you're the leader and you have worker bees. I'm also a worker bee. So I don't believe in asking somebody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So that's pretty much how I got started, and I'm still there. My daughter's graduated. She's done with high school. She's done with college, and she's like, Mom, you're still there. But I feel like there's a whole bunch of students that are still there, and they keep coming, and why not support them? I think I should because I can.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And thank you for being one of those parents who really, step up and be a part of not just their kids' lives, but their school and the community and all of that. That's amazing and a true testament of where, just being there for not just your child, but other children can place you into an opportunity as you have now been doing as president. So that's wonderful. Tell us more about the foundation itself. Well, tell us more about Dillard High School and their arts program and then the foundation, because I know that there are many wonderful, I just learned a few months ago that Black Violin, the group, the duo, are actually graduates of Dillard High School and their arts program. So I'm sure there's great talent that's there and alumni as well. So tell us more about the arts program in the high school and then the foundation.
So my daughter wanted to be a vocal major. She's always sang and she's always wanted to be a singer. So we went, and I wasn't familiar with the school at all. We lived in Hollywood and she did her research. And I said, okay, let's go visit Dillard. And I was impressed the minute I walked in the door. Mr. Charles gave me a tour. I'm an artist and I have an art studio. So I teach visual arts. But the art room was amazing. The music room was amazing. The music production room was amazing. And then I heard this off in the distance. I heard some jazz music playing, and I'm a jazz lover. And I'm thinking like, well, who's blasting this music? And then we walked into the music room where Mr. Dorsey was. And I sat there and I went, wow, this sounds like something I pay big money for at some big stadium or some arena there. So I was impressed, everything, the dance program, the dance studios, everything. When you walk in that school, you can look on the outside and it looks like a high school, a typical high school it looks like a big auditorium. But once you walk through those doors, you have to be impressed. You have to be impressed by what you see. And you know that those teachers, they are putting in the hard work, and the students are dedicated. My daughter was like diehard, dedicated and passionate about what she's doing. The teachers are passionate. So that whole thing built up between their dance. They have an annual chocolate nutcracker ballet that's happening every year. The jazz band has gone on to perform in, at the essentially Ellington competition, which is the best high school jazz bands in the country. And in the past 10 years, they've either come in first, second, or third. So they're the top. So every time that event happens, everyone's like, oh, Dillard's coming, because they know, like there's a competition. The opportunities that these kids have, if we've got that money there and we've got the scholarship and things that the DART Foundation can support throughout the school year, those kids are going to get those opportunities. Recently, a group from the vocal department went to New York to sing at Carnegie Hall. My daughter had that experience when she was there. So of course I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to make sure they get there and they go and they do this. The theater department, they're all going, whenever they go and they compete or they're going to perform, you're getting excellence. And that comes from the teachers, that comes from within. So the foundation is there to support the students, to support the teachers while they're there. And with the scholarship, we want to continue that support as they go on. You did mention Black violin. Recently, they came in and they did a little workshop with the students, and I was there, and it was very cool for them to sit in a classroom and tell the students, oh, we used to sit over there, we would get in trouble, or we would sit in the corner and we would do this and we would do that. And now they're out there performing with, the likes of Kanye West, Alicia Keys. We also have Jason Derulo is one of our, I think probably the biggest name that I am familiar with, but it also goes back to Cannonball. It goes back to, which I recently found out, here's something new that I found out, Sam and Dave. We know the Sam and Dave. Okay, I don't remember which one it is, but I just found out one of them went to Dillard, Right now we have a young lady who I know, and I know her family. I believe she graduated in 2019. She did work with John Batiste in a while. She went to New York. I believe she went to Juilliard. She was playing with John Batiste until this job came along, and she took a job. So now she's in the SNL band. So every Saturday night,
wow,
I turn on Saturday night, I stay awake, turn it on, and there she is. And then I go to sleep, So it's like things like that. When you look at these kids and you see them performing and you see them producing, even the visual arts students, they've had exhibits at the airport. They've had exhibits, and everybody's award winning. Every department has won some type of award in the arts that they are part of. So to help those kids along, why not? I can, and why not?
No, that's amazing. And thank you for that background, because you're right. If you're just kind of driving through the area and you drive past Dillard High School, it's very unassuming. It does look like a regular high school, but the talent that, I've seen or experienced from the high school is just absolutely amazing talent. So, you talked about scholarships and how you guys have scholarships to support, the foundation has scholarships to support the students, especially as they're traveling, to different places to showcase their art. Let's talk about the annual Christopher Dorsey Jazz Scholarship fundraising event that's coming up. Tell us, when is it? What's happening? What can people expect for this event? I've never attended. So, for those who've never attended before, what should they expect?
Okay, so it's our second annual. The one we had last year was when Mr. Dorsey was retiring, and we said we have to do something after 18 years in the school and bringing those kids to phenomenal places. We had decided, let's have a fundraising event and have a scholarship in his name. The foundation had been giving out scholarships, small scholarships, $1,000 to all the students in the program. And then we came up with this Christopher Dorsey scholarship. And so our goal last year was to raise about $5,000. Well, we raised $10,000. And we thought, oh my, well, that's really good. So we're going to up that, we're going to, in addition to the regular DART Foundation scholarship, we want the Christopher Dorsey scholarship. We want to give $5,000. So last year, Mr. Dorsey was present there. People came to say goodbye. This year, unfortunately, he has another commitment on that date that we chose, but it is Friday night, the 14th, from 7 to 10 at ArtServe. That's at 1350 East Sunrise Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. We have live music from the current jazz teacher. He will be bringing on his students as a quartet. We also have a couple of vocalists from the vocal department. We have SW Catering coming in for appetizers. We have donated beer, Prosecco, wine, so that the bar is included, the refreshments are included. We also have, our big thing is our silent auction. So we have a silent auction. That's where we get our big money, which comes in. And part of those things, we have about 40 items donated through businesses, items and services donated through local businesses in the community. They range from the Broward Center is giving us a pass. I think it's a annual pass. The NSU Art Museum. We have a photography package. We have a lot of artwork. We have gift cards to Shooters, El Camino, Billy Stone Crab. Publix gave us a donation. The Dania Beach Improv. So it's a bunch of stuff, different things that people can bid on. And so hopefully people will come out and bid, because that's where we're making our money. The tickets for the event are $75. And after our expenses, that all that money will go to the Scholarship Foundation.
That's good. That's good. And so, and I don't know if we can put this in the chat or in the comments, if there's a website or phone number for people to get tickets.
Sure. Yep. They can, on the website, they can go to support DART, SUPPORT.DART.org, and that will take you to the tickets. Or you can call 754-322-0838. That's the school. And with the stormy weather, I know there's no school open today, so they can go directly to the DART website, which will take them to the ticketing portal.
And this is tomorrow night. Do you think the weather is going to impact the event, or is it rain or shine?
Well, Fort Lauderdale seems to be underwater right now. So I have a call into ArtServe, because I don't know, we want everybody we want to raise money for the kids, but we also want to be safe. We want people to be safe. So I'm on, I'm kind of waiting for a phone call. And if we can't have it, it will be postponed. It's not like we will not have it at all. So it's hard to say right now. Mother Nature's sometimes not a nice lady.
So what else would you like our audience to know about DART and the fundraising efforts? And I know graduation's coming up soon for students. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I think it's important to know that right now, we want to make sure that these kids that are getting a quality education in high school continue and get a quality college education, or anything that it will help them further their goals to being visual and performing arts, because they have a passion for it. Some of our students have attended, and some on full ride scholarships, some on partial scholarships, have attended such places as Juilliard, Berklee College of Music. These are through Mr. Dorsey's students. Manhattan School of Music, Temple University, Michigan State. So they're going to some top colleges. They were also in Florida State, FAMU, and they're just pursuing their career. And I think that's important, because sometimes people look at artists, whether it's musicians, visual artists, dancers, and say, oh, there's no future in being an artist, and so they don't necessarily always get the support. As an artist, I went to college and studied art. I took a little sidetrack for a while, but that's my career now. So I feel like I'm a testimony to that. I'm not a starving artist. You can make a living. And COVID took us to a place where so many people were relying on the arts. You were stuck at home. You were relying on listening to music. You were relying on watching movies and TVs and Netflix and shows on, on social, online. So if that all went away and people didn't believe in the arts, and there was no funding and no money to bring these kids to do what they want to do, then we'd be in a sad little world.
No, that's a great point. And I think that sometimes people often forget that the simplest things like our movies is a form of art, or the music that we listen to, those recording artists, is a form of art. So it's so important. I'm glad you really said that, because there are those who will try to tell students and young people that they can't make any money in art. They're not going to have a viable career. They're not going to be successful. And that's just not the case. So it's good that there are programs like yours around, and the foundation to really add that extra support. And so we definitely encourage anyone that's out there that's listening to, if you love the arts, will the students be performing? You may have said this. Will the students be performing?
Yes, so the current students under the current jazz band teacher will be performing Friday night. You know what else I just wanted to throw in, because I always throw out that story about the girl that's on SNL, but we also have a young lady who's been touring. Her dream, and I know the background, I know her mom. So her dream when she was growing up, she saw the movie Hairspray. Have you seen the movie Hairspray, right?
Yeah.
And she saw that character, Lil Inez, and she said, that's what I want to be when I grow up. Let me tell you something. For the past year, this girl got into the national touring troupe of Hairspray, and she's playing Lil Inez. And she graduated in 2017.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We have another young lady who's been for the last, I think, year and a half. She's an entertainer on the Disney cruise. So she's been traveling all over, performing, doing the singing and the acting and the dancing. So they're out there. They're out there.
No, and that's good, because I actually spoke at SETC a couple of months ago in Kentucky, which is a national theater conference and performing arts conference. And there was so much talent there, but there was a lot of recruitment. Like Disney Cruise was there, and several theme parks and other places were there, and film companies were there, colleges and universities were there. And what I did not see enough of, and I'll just be straight up, we didn't see enough young people of color.
Yeah.
There wasn't many Black students there. I didn't see hardly any Hispanic students there. And I understand, because it takes money to fly to a place like Kentucky to stay for a couple of days, but they were doing on-the-spot auditions, whether it was for the colleges or whether it was for production companies or whatever it was. And I just thought to myself while I was there, I was like, wow, because we did a session on diversifying your audience, right? But it was even beyond that. And we had a couple of young people that said, well, what if we're trying to get more diverse auditions, people to audition, and we're like, well, the same tactics apply, the same strategies apply. But it's interesting you say that. So, for those who are listening, when, the foundation is important to give these students that opportunity, whether it's making sure that they can get on a plane and go to a conference like that, where they have an opportunity, they can seize the moment right then and there and get, one of probably the best gigs of their lives, or at least a stepping stone to the best gigs of their lives. So I really appreciate the work that you and the foundation are doing for these student artists, because there are opportunities out there, but they have to be able to have support and resources to take advantage of those opportunities. So kudos to you all. And I hope everyone who's listening or that hears this, if you're able to tomorrow evening, go and support this scholarship jazz event, which is being held by DART. There it is on the screen again. And it's a fundraiser from 7 to 10 p.m. at ArtServe. So please support, because it will support many students in return in pursuing their dreams. Ms. Harris, anything else you want to add?
Well, yes. If you can't come out, we want warm bodies in that room to see what your money's going towards. So that's very important to us. However, if you can't attend, you can always give a donation at supportdart.org. Two more things. One thing you made me think of, this Dorsey scholarship is going towards the seniors, and it may not necessarily go towards college. There are other opportunities for them to go to workshops and attend different events like that where they can hone their skills. So if a student wants to apply for that scholarship, and it's for not necessarily a college, but it's for an opportunity to go to a summer workshop, we are going to look at that. That's one of the things Mr. Dorsey said, if we can look at that as well. We also have a recent opportunity. City Cinema, who's recently moving into the Fort Lauderdale area, contacted us, and they want to support as well. So they have come up with a very, very, very large amount of money for a scholarship that they're giving to us. And we're doing all the paperwork right now, but it's also specifically for students at the Dillard Center for the Arts. So, and it's a big old chunk of money. So we're hoping we can get that out to the students by the end of this week, probably tomorrow, and they will apply for it, because this will be very helpful. Because, college tuition is one thing. There's books, there's room, there's all the things that go with it. There's transportation. So we're trying to look at how do we cover all these things, because it would be great for them to be able to get in the school, but it's a little bit more than just that. So we are looking for warm bodies tomorrow night, but we will take your donation if you cannot attend. And again, that's at supportdart.org.
Awesome. Well, stay with me for a moment as we go through some announcements. And everyone, again, the website and the phone number is in the comment section. So if you can't make the event, you can definitely go to the website and support that way. And again, this is supporting young artists, supporting young people. And I just have one more question for you, Ms. Harris. Do they have to be a student at Dillard High School to receive any scholarships or assistance from the foundation?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah.
Good to know. Well,
so if they're not, then they need to come to the school, enroll in the school, and we hook them up.
That's what I was going to say. Well, parents, if you have a young artist.
Yes, we will give you money. We will recruit you. You can be one of our students, and you can be among the fantastic students that we have. And then you can you have that opportunity to apply for the scholarships.
Awesome. Good to know. Well, stay with me for a moment while we do a few quick announcements. Well, thank you all for tuning in again. And we want to just thank our sponsors again for making this broadcast possible. Thank you to the Mesman and Dover Accident Attorneys, AARP, the Florida Lottery, FAMU Mary, and All of Us Research Program at the University of Miami. Don't forget to mark your calendars, get your tickets, and join us for the 17th Annual Legacy Power Gala, where we'll be honoring Legacy Magazine's most influential, powerful Black business professionals from around South Florida, from Miami-Dade and Palm Beach County. Tickets are just $200, and the deadline is April 28th to purchase your ticket, and you may do so at MIAmediagrp.com. That's MIAmediagroup.com. Also, please watch our shows that we have. We have something for everyone. On Mondays, we have The Business of Black Business at 1 p.m. with Jay Reynolds. Tuesday, My Money, Your Money at 7 p.m. with Bridgette Lumpkins. Wednesday, Soul, where we cover entertainment, art, and culture with Nikki Jellin at 7 p.m. Thursdays, with yours truly, Lunch with Legacy Leaders at noon. And also on Thursday, Flavor of South Florida with Chef Irie at 7 p.m., where he is dishing out all the great flavors of Black-owned restaurants in South Florida. And then we have Black Health on Fridays at 2 p.m. with Dr. Michelle Kerwin. So don't forget to go to our website, subscribe to our newsletter, so that way you can get all of our weekly updates with what's happening in and around South Florida. And as always, be sure to share this video, follow our channel, subscribe, and mark your calendars and tune in next Thursday at noon. Thank you again, Ms. Harris, and thank you all for tuning in.